How can a simple piece of fabric, a shirt worn for only 90 minutes on a football pitch, become a product worth billions of dollars worldwide? Every 4 years, millions of fans rush to buy them. The colors of their country, the name of their favorite player, the symbol of a national team stitched across their chest. But behind every World Cup jersey is a manufacturing process far more complex than most people imagine. A shirt that looks simple from the outside is actually the result of advanced textile engineering, precision machinery, athlete testing, and a global business worth billions. And here's the surprising part. Two jerseys can leave the same factory line. They can have the same colors, the same badge, the same player name, the same number. One sells for around $5 in production cost. The other appears on store shelves for $175. So what exactly happens between the factory and the final price tag? Today we're going inside the world of football jersey manufacturing. From raw plastic pellets, to advanced performance fabrics, to the final shirt worn under the biggest stadium lights on earth. And by the end, you'll understand why an authentic World Cup jersey costs so much more than just fabric. Let's begin. The story of the jersey begins hundreds of years before modern football existed. The word jersey itself did not originally come from sports. It came from a type of knitted fabric produced on the island of Jersey in the English Channel. For centuries, this textile was known for its flexibility, comfort, and durability. Eventually, the material became associated with athletic clothing, and the name stayed. But the first football jerseys looked nothing like today's high-tech uniforms. During the first World Cup in 1930, players wore heavy cotton shirts. The fabric absorbed enormous amounts of sweat. By halftime, the shirts became heavier, hotter, and extremely uncomfortable. Players often exchanged jerseys after matches not because of tradition, but simply because they wanted a dry shirt. Then everything changed. During the 1970s, polyester entered sports manufacturing. It was lighter, cheaper, and more durable than cotton. But it had one major weakness. It trapped heat. The material did not breathe well and players still struggled with sweat management. By the 1980s, football jerseys became something more than just sports equipment. They became advertising platforms. Sponsor logos grew larger. Commercial deals became bigger. The shirt was no longer only about performance. It became a moving billboard representing companies worth billions. Then technology returned to the center of jersey design. In 2010, Nike introduced dry fit technology using recycled plastic bottles. Each jersey could be produced from approximately 12 recycled bottles. The focus shifted back toward athlete performance. Lightweight materials, better ventilation, improved moisture control. And today the evolution continues. For the 2026 World Cup era, Nike developed one of its most advanced jersey systems ever, AeroSwift, a design created around the actual movement and temperature patterns of professional athletes. Years of development, player testing, laboratory analysis, and real match feedback. Every section of the jersey is engineered for a specific purpose, but before any advanced technology appears, the manufacturing process begins with something much simpler. Tiny plastic pellets. The journey from raw material to finished jersey begins inside a textile factory. The first ingredient is not fabric. It is plastic. Small polymer pellets, each one no larger than a grain of rice, are poured into enormous industrial machines. These pellets are usually made from polyester, a synthetic fiber known for its strength, flexibility, and resistance to shrinking. Inside the machine, temperatures rise to approximately 260 degrees Celsius. The solid pellets slowly melt into a thick, transparent liquid. This molten material is pushed through a metal plate containing thousands of microscopic holes. The process is called extrusion, and what emerges from the other side looks almost like strands of hair. Thousands of thin, glossy fibers stretch outward as they cool in the air. These fibers are collected onto large spinning reels. At this point, they are not yet fabric. They are simply the building blocks of the material that will eventually become a football jersey. The next stage is stretching. The fibers pass through heated rollers that pull them longer and thinner. This process aligns the internal molecular structure, increasing strength while improving flexibility. The final polyester threads must be lightweight, durable, and capable of moving moisture away from the skin. Once the fibers reach the correct thickness, they are transferred to dyeing systems. This is where the jersey begins to receive its identity. Different national teams require different colors. Deep blue, bright red, powerful green, classic white. The polyester threads are placed into enormous dyeing tanks filled with carefully controlled chemical solutions. The temperature rises to around 130 degrees Celsius. The process continues for approximately 60 to 90 minutes. Unlike natural fibers such as cotton, polyester does not absorb dye easily. Instead, the color molecules penetrate directly into the structure of the synthetic fiber. This creates a color that remains stable through repeated washing, sunlight exposure, and years of use. After dyeing, the threads are washed and dried. Then they are ready for the most important transformation, turning individual fibers into fabric. This is where the biggest difference between replica jerseys and authentic jerseys begins. A standard replica jersey uses traditional flat-knit fabric. Large industrial knitting machines create a uniform sheet of material. The process is efficient, fast, and suitable for mass production. Thousands of panels can be produced every day. The fabric is then cut into pieces: front panels, back panels, sleeves, collars. These pieces are sent to sewing lines where workers and automated machines assemble them together. The logos are embroidered or attached. Player names and numbers are applied using heat presses. The machine heats the surface to approximately 160 degrees Celsius. Pressure is applied for around 12 seconds. The printed material bonds permanently with the fabric. The result is the jersey most fans buy. Comfortable, official looking, and designed for everyday supporters. But authentic jerseys, the ones worn by professional players, follow a completely different path. Instead of creating one uniform fabric sheet, the knitting machine is programmed with detailed information about the human body. And that information comes from athlete testing. Professional players wear special tracking equipment during training sessions. Sensors collect data showing where body temperature rises, where sweat accumulates, where fabric creates friction, and where maximum ventilation is needed. That data is transformed into a digital body map. Then, the knitting machine changes the structure of the fabric depending on the location. Some areas receive tighter weaving for support. Other areas receive looser weaving for airflow. The jersey is essentially designed zone by zone, not just cut from one simple piece of material. When you hold an authentic jersey under the light, the difference becomes visible. Some sections appear almost transparent. Others are thicker and more structured. Every area exists for a reason. The goal is not simply to make the shirt lighter. It is to make the shirt behave like a second layer of skin. During a match, professional players generate enormous amounts of heat. A footballer can lose several liters of fluid through sweat during a single game. The jersey must remove moisture quickly, allow air to circulate, and avoid restricting movement. That is why authentic versions often weigh significantly less than replica versions. An authentic jersey may weigh around 150 grams. A replica can reach approximately 200 grams. The difference may seem small, but at the highest level of competition, every detail matters. After the advanced fabric is produced, the panels are prepared for assembly. Unlike standard jerseys, authentic models often use laser cutting instead of traditional blades. Laser systems create extremely precise edges, no fraying, no unnecessary material, and perfect symmetry between every section. The cut pieces then move into the sewing department. Here, specialized machines join the panels together. The stitching pattern is carefully controlled because even a small mistake can affect comfort and movement. The shoulder area receives special attention. This section connects the sleeve to the main body of the jersey. For years, manufacturers have experimented with different seam positions to improve mobility. The idea sounds simple. Move the seam away from areas where players experience friction. Create more freedom of movement. Reduce resistance. But innovation does not always work perfectly. During testing of advanced jersey templates, some designs created unexpected problems. A reinforced shoulder structure that looked ideal in laboratory tests behaved differently on real athletes. Under movement and high-definition cameras, the seam created a visible raised area. Some players appeared to have exaggerated shoulder shapes while wearing the jersey. Fans noticed. The internet reacted. And suddenly, a small engineering decision became a global conversation. The lesson was clear. A design that works perfectly on a mannequin may behave completely differently on a moving athlete. After the jersey structure is completed, the most recognizable elements are added. The national crest, the sponsor logos, the player's name, the number. These details are applied using several different methods depending on the design. Some logos are embroidered. Others use heat transfer technology. For modern performance jerseys, lightweight printed materials are often preferred because they reduce weight and improve flexibility. The heat press applies controlled temperature and pressure, around 160 degrees Celsius, approximately 10 to 15 seconds, enough energy to bond the design permanently to the fabric. But the process must be carefully controlled. Too much heat can damage polyester fibers. Too little pressure can cause peeling. Every detail must survive the conditions of professional football: sweat, rain, friction, repeated washing. Once the jersey is fully assembled, it enters the quality control stage. This is where factories separate acceptable products from defective ones. Workers inspect every section: the stitching, the colors, the placement of logos, the alignment of names and numbers. Automated cameras scan the surface for irregularities invisible to the human eye. Fabric strength tests are also performed. Machines pull the seams in opposite directions until they reach their breaking point. The goal is to ensure the jersey can survive the physical demands of the game. The crest must remain attached after dozens of washing cycles. The fabric must maintain its elasticity. The colors must remain stable. A World Cup jersey may represent a nation, but before it reaches the stadium, it must first survive the factory. But the factory is only one part of the story, because the price difference between a $5 production cost jersey and a $175 retail jersey is not created only by the materials. The biggest difference comes from everything surrounding the shirt: the brand, the licensing, the sponsorship agreements, the global marketing machine behind the game. A company like Nike does not simply manufacture jerseys. It pays for the right to manufacture them. Every national team has its own agreement with sportswear companies. Nike, Adidas, Puma, and others compete for these contracts. The amount of money involved can reach tens of millions of dollars every year, sometimes even more. One of the most famous examples is Germany. For more than 7 decades, the German national team was connected with Adidas. 4 World Cup victories, multiple European championships, a complete football identity built around the famous 3 stripes. The relationship became part of German football culture. But in 2024, Nike offered a massive deal reportedly worth around 100 million euros per year, a number far beyond previous agreements. Germany accepted. The decision created controversy. Some fans and politicians argued that the national jersey represented more than business. It represented tradition, history, identity. But in modern football, money has become one of the strongest forces, and that cost does not disappear. It becomes part of the final product price. A portion of every jersey sold helps fund the licensing agreement that allows the brand logo to appear on the chest. So when a fan buys a $175 authentic jersey, they are not only paying for polyester, they are paying for the manufacturing process, the technology, the official license, the team agreement, the marketing campaigns, the global distribution network, and the value of wearing the same symbol as professional players. This is where the replica and authentic jerseys truly separate. From a distance, they can look almost identical. Same colors, same badge, same player name, same number. But the engineering underneath is completely different. The authentic jersey is designed for athletes. The replica is designed for supporters. The authentic version focuses on maximum performance, advanced weaving, body-mapped ventilation, slim athletic fit, lightweight construction. The replica focuses on comfort, durability, and affordability. A fan wearing a jersey at home does not need the same level of engineering as a player running 12 kilometers during a World Cup match. The difference is not always visible, but it exists in the details. And sometimes those details create unexpected results. One of the biggest discussions around modern football jerseys is how advanced engineering can create problems outside the laboratory. A design created to improve performance may look strange in everyday use. Professional players move constantly. Their bodies stretch, rotate, accelerate, change direction. A jersey designed for that environment may behave differently on a person simply walking around. This creates an interesting paradox. The same technology that helps elite athletes perform can make the shirt look unusual for ordinary fans. And that leads to another surprising part of the industry: counterfeit jerseys. The global football jersey market has created an enormous demand. And wherever there is demand, there is a counterfeit industry ready to follow. Millions of fake jerseys are produced every year. Some are sold openly. Others are distributed through online marketplaces and unofficial sellers. At first glance, many of them look surprisingly convincing. The same colors, similar badges, matching player names, even packaging designed to imitate official products. But underneath the surface, the difference is significant. Counterfeit factories usually skip the expensive technology. No athlete testing, no body-mapped knitting, no advanced ventilation zones, no official licensing fees. Instead, they use standard polyester fabric and simpler printing methods. The result may look similar in a photograph, but the material's durability and performance are completely different. The strange irony is that some counterfeit jerseys accidentally solve a problem created by premium designs. Because they often use simpler fabrics and traditional cuts, they may hang differently on the body. A cheaper fake jersey may appear smoother or more natural in everyday situations, while the authentic version carries all the engineering designed for professional athletes. This creates a unique challenge for major sportswear companies. They are competing not only against other brands, but also against a market that copies the final appearance while ignoring the complex process behind it. To fight counterfeiting, manufacturers use increasingly advanced systems. Official jerseys may include hidden authentication tags, special printing patterns, unique production codes, and digital verification technology. These features allow teams and customers to confirm whether a product is genuine. But the battle continues, because every major tournament creates a new wave of demand, especially the World Cup. The World Cup is not just a football competition. It is one of the largest commercial events on Earth. Millions of fans want a physical connection to the tournament. The easiest connection is the jersey. A shirt becomes a symbol, a memory, a piece of history. A fan may remember exactly where they were when their team won, and the jersey becomes part of that story. That emotional value is one of the reasons official jerseys can command premium prices. You are not only buying fabric, you are buying a connection to a moment. Behind every shirt sold in a stadium, a store, or an online shop is a complex chain. Raw material production, textile engineering, dyeing, knitting, cutting, sewing, quality control, licensing, marketing, distribution. Thousands of people contribute before a fan ever puts it on. And that is why a football jersey is much more than a piece of clothing. It is the final product of a global manufacturing system connecting factories, athletes, brands, and supporters around the world. But the story doesn't end when the jersey leaves the factory, because the final stage is where the shirt begins its journey toward becoming part of football history. After leaving the factory, the jerseys enter one final stage: distribution. Millions of shirts must travel across continents before reaching fans. Some are delivered directly to national teams. Some are sent to official retailers. Others move through global online platforms. Every shirt follows a carefully planned supply chain designed to ensure that the product arrives before the biggest moments in football. For a World Cup, timing is everything. A jersey cannot arrive months after the tournament begins. Manufacturers must predict demand years in advance. They analyze previous tournaments, team popularity, player transfers, market trends, and fan behavior. Then production begins long before the first match is played. Inside warehouses, thousands of jerseys are organized by country size and model. A single national team may require hundreds of thousands of units. Small sizes, large sizes, children's versions, authentic player editions, replica supporter versions. Every variation must be tracked. Every shipment must be accurate. When the jerseys finally reach stores, the manufacturing journey is complete. But another journey begins, the emotional one. A child wearing the shirt of their favorite player. A fan watching a World Cup match surrounded by thousands of people wearing the same colors. A family keeping a jersey for decades as a memory of a historic victory. That is the hidden power behind these products. The factory creates the shirt, but the fans give it meaning. And now, after seeing the entire process, the price difference becomes easier to understand. A football jersey is not expensive only because of the fabric. The fabric itself may cost just a few dollars. The real value comes from everything built around it. The engineering, the research, the athlete testing, the technology, the licensing agreements, the history, and the emotion attached to wearing the colors of a nation. From a tiny plastic pellet to a finished jersey under the lights of the world's biggest stadiums, the process combines chemistry, robotics, textile science, and human craftsmanship. Every stitch has a purpose. Every material has a reason. Every design decision comes from trying to create the perfect balance between performance and identity. Because a World Cup jersey is not just a shirt, it is a symbol worn by millions. It represents a country, a team, a generation of fans. And behind that symbol is a manufacturing process far more advanced than most people ever imagine. If you enjoyed this journey inside the world of football jersey, manufacturing, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and comment which product you want us to explore next. Leave a like if you were surprised by how much technology is hidden inside a simple football shirt. And share this video so more people can discover the incredible process behind everyday objects. Until the next journey, trust the process.